Skyrim has without a doubt the biggest library of mods in any game I've ever played. With almost 130,000 mods, you'll never run out of the incredible assortment of gameplay enhancements, graphic overhauls, and improvements to immersion. And that doesn't even include the mods in Lover's Lab, if you're into that kind of stuff. But with such a massive library, and with it only becoming bigger, it's no wonder why a lot of these mods were lost to time. So today, we're going to be taking a look at 8 famous Skyrim mods that have been forgotten. Number 1. The Forgotten City. Despite its age, the Forgotten City remains to be one of the most polished, interesting, and content-rich Skyrim mods out there. The mod is mainly a story-driven experience, providing around 6 to 8 hours of content about solving a mystery inside an ancient underground city. The story itself involves time travel, over 1,200 lines of dialogue from 18 different voice actors, a completely original soundtrack, and even a morality system. All of this content can be experienced in a non-linear fashion, where you experience different story beats depending on the choices you make throughout the mod. Speaking of which, the mod also contains 4 different endings. The Forgotten City is one of the most praised mods in video game history. News outlets such as PC Gamer and Kotaku both wrote articles praising the mod's story, and it became the first mod in history to win a National Writers Guild award for its script. This led to the mod's creator to quit his cushy lawyer job and become a full-time indie game developer. His first project was a complete remake of the mod in Unreal Engine 4, with the city now taking place in ancient Rome rather than Tamriel. The game received equally positive reviews for many of the same aspects that made the mod so great, and became one of the most successful indie games of 2021, selling around 300,000 copies. So, who said making mods was a waste of time? Number 2. The Lost Wonders of Mazark. In a similar vein to the Forgotten City, The Lost Wonders of Mazark is another quest mod that adds a new dungeon for the Dragonborn to explore. Off the Northern Oceans now lies an ancient Dwemer ruin that is unlike any other. Where most ruins in Skyrim are clones of each other, with a few changes here and there, the Dungeon of Mazar Numes features an enormous non-linear design with new enemies, contraptions, and quests to keep you busy. Unlike most other dungeons, which typically revolve around clearing through enemies to get the treasure, Mazar Numes is a lot more puzzle-oriented, with only a few enemies showing up here and there. Speaking of the enemies, the Lost Wonder of Mazark features unique enemies like holograms and mini-bosses. Finally, the mod also includes several new quests that provide hours of new content. These quests also include fully voiced and scripted characters. So, if you're looking for a lore-friendly mod that won't take up too much of your time, then give this one a try. Number 3. Apocalypse – Magic of Skyrim. As previously stated in our Two Worlds 2 video, we believe that although Skyrim's magic system is cool and flashy, it leaves a lot to be desired in experimentation, leaving magic playthroughs feeling as shallow as a puddle. Luckily, Apocalypse is a magic mod that aims to remedy both of these problems. The mod adds 155 new spells which are unique, balanced, and lore-friendly. Everything about the mod was made with the intention of it appearing as if it was from an unaltered version of Skyrim. As a result, the mod makes use of high-quality custom animations and effects that blend seamlessly into the vanilla game. The new spells have also been integrated into the world, allowing you to loot, buy, and find all of the new spells just like you can with those that were already present. Not only do these new spells breathe new life into the spellcasting meta, but they also offer much more versatility across the schools of magic. So, now you can do combat-oriented magic builds which don't have to be locked into the schools of destruction or conjuration. Spells also have much more distinct effects and powers depending on their skill level. For example, novice-level spells will let you do things like create sounds to distract enemies or lay down spike barriers, whereas master-level spells will let you summon a volcano and even control the goddamn weather. All of these new additions turn Skyrim's magic builds from a challenge of how long you can withstand the boredom of casting Firebolt for the 900th time to feeling like you're going through the journey from being a novice-level mage who casts spells fit for a children's birthday party to becoming a mage demigod. All in all, this mod is a must-have for anyone thinking of going through Skyrim as a mage and is tired of the old selection of spells. Number 4. Become High King of Skyrim. When Skyrim originally launched, players were ecstatic that they could become the most powerful character in the province. And I don't just mean by raw physical power, but with political influence. By the time the players have reached the endgame, the Dragonborn is not only the leader of the Companions, the College of Winterhold, and the Thieves' Guild, but also the Dark Brotherhood, as well as being a distinguished member of the Imperials, or the Stormcloaks if you're a traitor. But players were a little saddened to eventually figure out that the ultimate title of power, becoming the High King or Queen of Skyrim, was unavailable to attain. However, modders quickly went to work, and Become High King of Skyrim was created. The mod itself is pretty self-explanatory, but the mod does a lot more than just let you sleep in the Blue Palace. But first, you're going to have to put your politician cap on, because you have to complete a new quest and gain 60 supporters for your campaign before you can start ruling over Skyrim. However, once that's done and you've claimed your throne, you have a lot of choices for what you want to do with your power. But there are some more simple new powers, such as being able to finesse your way out of jail and even ordering people to bow or dance for you. But things get a lot more interesting when you take into account your newly instated royal court. This court consists of a steward, who collects taxes and allows you to divorce your wife so you needn't kill her anymore, an advisor who can teach you a new skill every day, and a court wizard that sells potions and spellbooks. On top of this, you can also have a personal bodyguard and blacksmith, as well as the ability to outfit your army. You can even fulfill the dreams of everyone who played as a human and go to war with the Thalmor, where you'll face off against the High Elves in 4 different battle zones to eventually drive them out of Skyrim, which in itself makes this one of the best mods on the list. Number 5. Clockwork. If you're feeling the itch for some horror and the Resident Evil 4 remake is a little out of your budget, then why not give this next mod a try? Clockwork is a quest mod that has constantly been hailed as one of the best horror mods in Skyrim. This mod has you entering the Clockwork Castle, high up in the Velothi Mountains, which border Skyrim and Morrowind. Upon entering into the foot of these mountains, the entrance caves in on itself, making it impossible to return to Skyrim until you finish the mod's questline. Throughout the questline, you'll be uncovering the mysteries of the Clockwork Castle, why the whole place is run by these creepy Dwemer robots, what happened to the castle's previous owners, and how the hell does this derelict home end up looking better than any other house in Skyrim? Well, all of these questions and more are explained throughout the mod's 6 hours or so of content. The majority of the mod will have you exploring the castle itself, and it's quite fitting to reference Resident Evil games, since there are some real similarities between Clockwork Castle and Salazar Castle in Resident Evil 4. Once you finish the main quest of the mod, you'll not only be able to return to Skyrim, but you'll also be able to keep Clockwork Castle as a player home, which comes fully equipped with the necessities like a main hall, master bedroom, and a large bathroom. However, the castle also has some unique quirks to it, like it has a glass terrarium where you can plant and harvest crops, and a travel room that lets you teleport to any major hold in the game. And if you're frothing at your computer screen about how none of these inclusions can be lore-friendly, don't worry, as the mod developer made it a priority to explain every new technology in a way that works within the world of Elder Scrolls. Number 6. Falskar. Falskar is one of the most legendary Skyrim mods of all time. Being made by entirely one person, Falskar takes the Dragonborn to an entirely new world space, roughly the size of 3 Skyrim holds, and around 20 hours of new content to enjoy. What makes Falskar unique to other mods in its category is the variety of content. In addition to featuring 26 new quests, Falskar also has new books, recipes, weapons, a completely new soundtrack, and even adds a new bard. Not only is the main questline unique and interesting, delving into a conflict between 2 powerful families in the province, but the side quests are also quite engaging. And although the dialogue can leave a little to be desired at times, Falskar is still impressive and one of the most legendary Skyrim mods ever. Number 7. Build your own home. Before the Hearthfire DLC, players that wanted a place to hang up their swords had to do so in the confines of a city, unable to truly enjoy the great outdoors. However, a modder by the name of Super Nasty Pants decided that wasn't good enough and made a mod that lets you build an entirely modular riverside home. Upon first encounter, the house is in a pretty dilapidated state, and it's up to you to turn this abandoned shack into the home of your dreams. Players can choose 1 of 4 themes for the house, which makes it more unique than the homes you can build in Hearthfire. Hell, you can even add a werewolf or vampire lair if you like. If that doesn't sound evil enough, then why not convert the whole place into a Daedric worshipping ground? During the time of its release back in 2012, this mod became one of the most endorsed on the Skyrim Nexus. And although the Hearthfire DLC, which was directly inspired by this mod, did make downloading this redundant, players who didn't want to pay extra money for something which they could just mod into the game continued to use this, alongside the Adopt Children mod, which was also quite popular for its time. Number 8. Economy Overhaul. Although many mods aim to make vast improvements on existing systems, like AI overhauls, lighting overhauls, and sound overhauls, the Economy Overhaul mods seem to fly under people's radars. This mod aims to make gold and speechcraft useful features in the game by making septums a lot more scarce, and being able to sell items much harder. The mod also makes it so vendors will now only accept your wares if you have an established relationship with them, and if you have the right perk to trade with vendors. This makes a lot more sense than it does in the vanilla game, where you, as a newly escaped convict, can sell a bunch of guard armor to anybody. Now, you will have to take some time to build a rapport with the vendors and make sure you have the right perks to get a decent price. Speaking of which, vendors have also had changes made to what they can buy from the player. For example, blacksmiths can now also buy jewelry and gems, innkeepers no longer buy and sell ingredients that can't be used in foods, such as a giant's toe, and general merchants will now only buy and sell basic items such as iron gear, building materials, and other miscellaneous items like pots and pans. And this is just dipping a pinky into what this mod changes and improves, and it ironically makes Skyrim more lore-friendly than it was in the vanilla game. No longer can these mom-and-pop stores have access to demonic weapons and mythical items for a couple of $100. No longer can you be rewarded a week's worth of gold for delivering a letter to somebody. All of the changes made in this mod are a flat-out improvement over the vanilla game in every aspect, making Skyrim more balanced, more rewarding, more immersive, and less of a hoarding simulator.
Subscribe to Fall Damage, you milk drinker.